I was living in Massachusetts, up in Newton, Massachusetts, and I was going to go to school up there. Started and didn't really work out, so I lived up there for a year and a half. There was a place up there called the Coffee Connection, which was a chain of coffee stores. This was back in 1985, 86. So coffee was happening on the West Coast in Seattle and all that, but it really wasn't doing much on the East Coast except for this guy, George Howell, who had this group of stores in and around Boston called the Coffee Connection. And he opened his first one in '72 in Harvard Square. Became like the staple coffee house. Very into coffee, big time. He's still today really big in the industry with the coffee. And I used to go, there was one in Newton Center where I lived, and I would go there every day. And each day there was like a different coffee of origin, so one day it was Guatemala, the next day it was Indonesian Sumatra, the next day it was Ethiopian Harar, it was Kenya Double, so every day there was this different coffee, and he was down into flavored coffee, so it was this amazing experience of coffee every single day. And I found that he had probably at that time 15 stores around the greater Boston area. So when I decided not to go to school, I was doing contracting before I even went up there. So I continued to do contracting up there, and I started getting a lot of work in Cambridge and Brookline and all around. If I was within 10 minutes of a Coffee Connection, I would always go and get a cup of coffee. I love the concept, the great stores. I love the variety, how it opened my mind and heart to, just what coffee is and how different it is based on, where it's grown. So if you have the equator, 15 degrees north and south of the equator, every single country in that band grows coffee, pretty much. And they're all different based on soil, based on, altitude, volcanic, non-volcanic. So it was just so exciting, and I loved the concept, and I always thought about it. And I was in Boston for 2 years. I went to New York for 2 years, New York City. Got together with my wife. We moved up here. She was a nurse. I was still doing contracting. We were both getting bored with what we were doing. The business was changing, contracting. It was getting very competitive. She wasn't happy being a nurse, and we wanted to do something together, and we were very creative together. We had all these always scheming ideas, and we thought, I brought her up to Boston once to show her these Coffee Connections, and same thing, it was just this great experience. And we tried to find money. It took us like 7 years from the original idea that this is what we wanted to do to actually opening the store, based from research and mostly money. And we had a house that we got a really great deal on out on Appleby Farm, and we wound up selling the house for, we had a lot of equity in it. So with the equity, we opened the Black Cow on a shoestring. I mean, we opened the doors December 29th, 1995, and we had $200 in the bank. 2 kids, we were renting an apartment. We had emptied our house out of all the furniture we had. It was one of those things. It was on a freaking shoestring. And day one, it just worked. People were really into it. I mean, the community came out. And again, that was 18 years ago.
Where did the cow come from?
Huh?
Where did the cow come from?
We were going through all different, if you ever go to Amherst, Mass, there's a deli up there called the Black Sheep Deli. Famous, it's been up there forever. All the college kids know about it. It's this great funky little deli, good food. And we thought about Black Sheep. Then we thought we couldn't take that because that would be kind of weird, taking someone else's name. So we thought Black Goat. We had a little goat at the time, a little pygmy goat, which we called, her name was Sophie. And we thought about the Black Goat, and that sounded more like a pub. So we just my wife always collected these cow things, country stuff, and a lot of them were cows, and we thought, what about the Black Cow? And she found the great image. I'm not wearing a shirt today, but the Black Cow logo is this image she found, and we both loved the image, and we just developed the logo around, and it was just a fun name for a place. And it's really, now it's the Cow, it's the Black Cow, it's really the Black Cow Coffee Company Incorporated. You know, you sit with your lawyer and they say, always use that incorporated. Never, don't put anything out there that doesn't have the incorporated in, you know, your sentence or your writing. But it's just the Black Cow, you know. It's not the Black Cow Company.
You guys developed this amazing brand. What is it about your method of delivery?
Well, we really care about the coffee, without a doubt. I mean, and we're not just serving coffee, we're really thinking about it. Everything's weighed and everything's calculated, and there's brewing time. I mean, coffee is a science. There's a Coffee Brewing Association of America where they study the art of brewing coffee, and it's all water temperature, it's grind based on style of brewing. I mean, you just have to put some, you can take the best coffee in the world and kill it at the brewer.